Attorney Griggs, a justice fighter, and wanted to hop on this live real quick and kind of talk with you guys about next steps after yesterday's election. And congratulations to all of the candidates that won in the nonpartisan races and all the candidates that will be moving on to the general election. But there's some takeaways that we can learn from last night elections, and that we have to defend our right and access to the franchise. There were so many irregularities that happened, so many issues that have to be resolved from our Secretary of State before we get to November, so that we can make sure that people's right to vote are protected. So I want to give you some announcements. If you had any voting irregularities or any issues, please call 1-866-OUR-VOTE. The Lawyers Committee and the NAACP is collecting that information in preparation for lawsuits and litigation. There was a litigation action filed yesterday in Gwinnett County to keep the voting polls open, and we are still collecting information on the cases that are being compiled for potential litigation. So we want to hear from you. So again, the number is 1-866-OUR-VOTE. If you had any issues at the poll, we want to get those stories so we can add them to our list. And if you had any other issues, please drop them in the comments, and we will try to get to the bottom of everything that's happening. And again, now we got to get back to the protests. There are numerous protests that are planned throughout the metro area, but there are some big ones that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of, and that you can make sure you're a part of. The biggest one is there's a protest being called by the Georgia NAACP. Our state president, James Woodall, is calling for a direct action march Monday, which is the first day back for the session, which is June the 15th. It will start at 9 a.m. from the Richard B. Russell building and go to the state capitol. So again, it'll be at 9 a.m. June the 15th from the Richard B. Russell Federal Building to the state capitol. If you want to RSVP, go to the www.naacpgeorgia.org and select the Georgia NAACP announces direct action on the first day of Georgia General Assembly. Click the RSVP and you'll get more information about that protest. So again, first day of session, we're taking it right to session. Many people ask, well, why are we marching? What's the purpose? The demands will be outlined at the march, and then they will be given directly to our state lawmakers. We are pushing for a bill to stop the disenfranchisement and the voter suppression. That's Senate Bill 463, and we're also pushing for hate crime legislation, and we're also calling for police accountability bills to be introduced and voted on in the session once session starts back. So all that's going to happen on Monday. So make sure that you are ready for that, and so you're prepared. And also there will be a march on that next Friday, which is Juneteenth, with cooperation of Georgia NAACP, the Atlanta NAACP, SCLC Rainbow Push. So I got to hop off this live real quick and got to do a couple Zoom interviews, but I'll be back to give you more information.